Okay, it is time that we have a conversation about NoFap. Again, it's been a very long time since we had a conversation in regards to NoFap, in regards to porn, in regards to the sexual energy. So, for anybody who's not aware, I mean, unless you live under a rock, you know what NoFap is. NoFap is you're restraining from ejaculating. You're restraining from jacking off. You're restraining from watching porn, and you're restraining from busting your nut, even if you're engaged in sexual activity with a partner. So, I would, I would say tantric sex. You're still no fabbing. If you're having tantric sex but you're not busting a nut, I would say you're still no fabbing. So some may disagree and say, well, no, you can't be touching, you can't be this and that. Well, I respectfully disagree. I think you could be having tantric sex with a partner, and if you do not bust your nut, you're still a no fabber. So no fab, and why is it? First of all, it's a big movement now, huge movement actually, and for the good, for the good. Why would you not want to bust your nut? What's so special about that? I mean, it feels really good, doesn't it? To bust a nut. It feels good. That's why it's so addictive. It's so addictive, right? I mean, when I discovered that you could do that, my God, 5 times a day? I think I discovered that when I was 13, 12, 13, something like that. 5 times a day, 6 times a day, right? I went through all the porn sites you could think of. YouPorn, Pornhub, XX movies. I mean, all of them, all of them. And yeah, that was a big addiction. And what happens when you bust a nut? What happens is this. Your body releases an incredible amount of energy. So whenever you bust your nut, there goes energy, valuable energy, sexual energy, out of your body and into the world. So it's an energy depleting act. And if you're a teenager right now and you say, well, but how come I get a boner like 15 minutes later? Well, because you're a teenager right now, you're going through some big changes. But wait a little bit. Once you get into your 20s and beyond, that'll calm down because you would have matured, and you will really begin to feel the energy depleting effects of busting a nut. Okay, you may not feel it as much if you're a teenager right now, you're 15 years old, but again, you will feel it later on. But it will be a disaster then, because you would have built these habits, and if you can't get off of these habits, you're gonna be like, in your 20s, and you're gonna just be always depleted out of energy. And if you're a teenager and you could savor that energy, my God, the amount of things you could do as a teenager. If I knew about this, and if I did NoFap as a teenager, wow, like the amount of energy that I would have savored then, instead of spending it all depressed and sad and miserable, like many teenagers are nowadays. And porn is a big contributor of that. Now, let's talk. So we'll talk about a couple of things here. We'll talk about the act of busting a nut and why it's a good idea not to bust a nut, probably ever, actually. And then we'll talk about porn itself also, and the negative consequences of watching porn. So, busting a nut, you release the energy out. Your body uses its best energy, its best cells, to produce semen. And it's because it's directly related to the survival program, the reproduction program. So because your body is of nature, and nature is designed and programmed to keep going, it's very important from nature's perspective that all life forms continue to have sex, and they continue to procreate. So the best cells are reserved for that job. So then your body is using its best energy to produce these reproductive fluids. And so when you go out and you let the fluid out of your reproductive organs, you have just depleted a lot of energy, because now your body's going to be like, okay, well, we got to create more of that, because we got to make sure that the reproduction and survival keep going. So let's go and create more of it. So let's spend more energy. So, you know, this is why if you bust a nut, you feel tired after. You know, you feel tired because your body's like, all right, time to go to work again to create that. Because to your body, as far as your body's concerned, this is a priority. You know, it's not the top priority. Survival is the top priority. And then after that comes reproduction. So as far as your body's concerned, we got to do this. You know, we got to do this ASAP. ASAP. So that takes more energy out of you. That's going to require more sleep. It's going to require more rest. That's what you feel fatigued. You feel tired. If you're fabbing too much, if you're fabbing at all, period. You're already in an energy compromised state. Period. So, okay, now you're saying, well, you know, but what about the good feelings that I get? What about this orgasm? You know, isn't it nice? Of course it's nice. But if you actually work on cultivating energy, and if you actually prolong the amount of time in which you're aroused, you will go beyond, my friends. You will go beyond. You could do this yourself. You could do it with a partner. If you actually push yourself, let's say, arousal state to 70%, and then you sort of stop, you know, you use your, you know, muscles there, and you use your, you know, mind or whatever, your breath, and then you stop, and then you arouse yourself again until maybe 80%, and then you stop, and then you do that. If you do that, oh man, like, you'll build so much energy, and you'll be able to feel more of a cosmic type orgasm, which is happening all over your body. If you're just busting a nut in that region, you only feel it in that region, and it's very superficial, and it's like the pleasure itself is very, very finite, very, very short-lived. But if you build up the energy, you arouse yourself, you're by yourself or with a partner, and you actually feel all this energy, you begin to experience cosmic energy. Okay, you begin to experience cosmic energy, and you feel it all around your body. It isn't just around your organ, your genitals. You feel it all around your body, and it's much more satisfying and long lasting than just a quickie. Way more. So then there is a much greater reward of not busting your nut, of arousing that energy. Now, let's say you're not doing that stuff. Let's say you're not arousing yourself. You're not with a partner. Well, still, that energy ends up getting moved upwards, goes upwards, move upwards into your higher chakras, into your heart, into your third eye, into your throat, and that's why people experience a lot more creativity when they embark on a NOFAP journey. They experience a lot more creativity, so they become more creative, which is, again, I mean, it's a higher pleasure to be creative. Like, I know making videos for me is a higher pleasure. I love it. The pleasure, the long-lasting pleasure I feel from making videos almost daily, far exceeds a quickie. You know, a little, it far exceeds it. And you will begin to experience this creativity if you hold on to your seed, if you don't bust it. Okay, you'll feel more creative, more focused. So there are, immense benefits from that. Now, let's talk about the porn. That's another problem altogether on its own, because the way sex is portrayed in porn movies is it's really demoralizing to the soul. The way it's portrayed, it's quite demoralizing, because in porn, sex is associated with power. That's what it is. It's associated with power. So you see the recurring theme that the man has to really overpower the woman, and the women in porn are portrayed as these sex objects. Really, that's the way porn portrays them, as sex objects. When a woman is, the feminine principle is so sacred that we are living on a woman. Mother Earth is a woman. Okay, Mother Earth is a woman. And so literally the temple in which we all live on is a woman. Okay, it's a woman. So, and in fact, for us to move forward in life, to evolve, we actually need to embrace the feminine role more. We need to actually respect women more. We need to respect the feminine principle of creation more than we do now. If you look at the last few thousand years in which, you know, humans have absolutely raided and destroyed themselves and all life forms, it's because of the shadow masculine principle of conquer and overpower and dominate. So, but the way porn portrays these roles, it reinforces that, you know, women are sex objects, and men are supposed to be these conquerors. You know, they're supposed to conquer the woman. And so, of course, that's one problem amongst many other problems. The other problem is the negative body image associations that result from porn. First of all, you know, this sort of image of the perfect female body, that's a totally subjective, culturally created image, and so these women, most of them, they have to get all kinds of plastic surgeries, breast implants, buttock implants, etc., to look like that. To look like that, you see? So what? That's fake then. That image is fake of this perfect woman body. But somehow it became associated with perfection. So, like, I remember when I was in the height of watching porn, I did not find women in real life attractive at all, because I would be looking for the woman with the big titties and the big ass and the big lips and just the way they're portrayed in porn. And I remember dancing with several chicks and not even getting a hard on, because I wasn't in touch with what is, because they didn't match the expectations that porn has implanted in my head. You know, it's like, you know, it's like, wow, like, just no, you know, it's like I'm looking for a unicorn. I'm looking for something that doesn't exist here. You know, I'm looking for something that doesn't exist. And that also creates problems for women who do naturally possess these qualities of the which porn portrays, because they are looked upon. If there's a woman with naturally big titties, big ass, and just looks like a porn star, let's say, which again is just like a fake illusion created, then she is in real life looked upon almost by everybody she meets as a sex object. So that's a problem for her too. So it creates problems for everybody. Then there's the problems for men, right? Oh, my penis is small, because you got all these guys who are well gifted down there, you know, like, but they're exceptions also. And boom, now, you know, you feel insecure about your penis size, and then you place so much importance on your penis size, and then so you see the materialistic paradigm that porn plants in people's minds, that it all becomes about the object, it all becomes about the material. How big is your penis? How big is your titties? How big is your ass? You know, etc., etc., etc. And then sex becomes looked upon as an act, a materialistic act. Okay, an act of material, an act of I'm gonna get off based on your vehicle, on the material. So if your material is it matches a certain expectation which has been implanted in me by society through porn, then I'm going to give you momentary pleasure and momentary love, quote unquote, right? But that just profanes the sexual act, because sex, if you start to have sex in the higher chakras, and it's based on love, genuine love and embracing of one another, then it is incredibly unifying and incredibly satisfying and incredibly energy cultivating. You could cultivate incredible amount of energy if you engage in tantric sex with a partner and you both, so again, tantric sex, you're not busting a nut, so forget about that. Okay, no, not busting. It's about working together, using the sexual energy, this very powerful sexual energy, to cultivate energy for both you and your partner, and for going to a place where there is union. And so it's a very, very sacred act. It has incredible potential to alleviate, or let's say elevate, the consciousness of human beings. Really, it's an act that has potential. It's one of the highest acts of love humans are capable of, is the act of love making. Love making. I really like that term, love making, because it is love making if it's done from the heart chakra, okay, and not from the lower chakras. So porn implants all these false expectations in our heads, reinforces a lot of the pre-existing negative, let's call them Sawadika. So it reinforces a lot of the negative archetypes of masculine and feminine, which we have now been a witness to for the last few thousand years. And it lacks respect to both the masculine principle and the feminine principle, because the masculine principle at its light side, at its peak, it's kind of like, how can I a good example of the masculine side, a masculine principle in its light side, in its height, is the character Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. So Aragorn is a leader. Aragorn is assertive. He's a leader. He ends up being the king, but he's very caring and very loving towards his people and towards his lover also, right? Arwen. So he isn't looking to conquer Arwen or conquer the lands or conquer the others. He's a leader. He's a leader, but he's not a conqueror. He's not a conqueror. He's not power obsessed. He's loving and he's caring. And he's caring and loving towards his people and towards his lover. And he's gentle. It's very important. It's gentle. That's a very important quality in the masculine, manifested in a positive way. He's gentle. But you seldom see that in porn, right? And the woman, the feminine principle, is surrendering, is letting go, and is nurturing. Nurturing is very important. Nurturing, right? I mean, look at the planet. Look at the mother, Gaia. She's nurturing. And what we see in mainstream porn is the complete opposite of both of these things. And the man is sort of a conqueror, power obsessed, and the woman just sort of surrenders to that power obsession of a man because she's supposed to, because she's just an object. It's really, really, it's really bad shit. It's really, it's not helping this, not helping our human predicament in any way. Okay, it's reinforcing the paradigms which led us to where we are right now, which is not a very good place. So you see the benefits of NOFAP. You see the benefits of not busting your nut, not releasing your seed, of holding on to your seed, whether you are with a partner or with no partner, whether you're having sex or not having sex, whether you're wherever you are, and then not watching porn. Because again, all this brainwashing that comes from watching porn, it takes many years to undo. And like Master Yoda says, you have to it's not what was he say? He says something to Luke Skywalker. He says, you must unlearn what you have learned. And that's the process. The process is unlearning. We've learned things in a certain way. They didn't turn out to be useful to our existence. So we've got to unlearn. And once we unlearn, we know all of these things. We know what is best for us. without having to know what's best for us. But that's Wu Wei. That's doing without doing, knowing without knowing. That's for a different video. Okay? So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it shed some light. I know a lot of you guys are in this process and you struggle, and I understand. And I would like to thank all the Patreons for your support. Thank you guys. I love every single one of you. Always appreciate you. When I say I appreciate you, I mean it. I appreciate your continuous support. We've got I think 30 Patreons now, which is incredible because the channel is not big, and just having 30 people already who are willing to support, that's incredible. It's incredible. So thank you guys. I love every single one of you. And if you'd like to also make one-time donations, you could do so via PayPal. I have links in the description for both. So if you're interested, you could always go to the description, join the Patreon family, make a one-time donation, and follow me on Instagram as well. Look up my name, follow me on Instagram, Saeed Mobayed. Until next time, may the force be with you.